name is Irena Hentea, and welcome to Irena Hentea's Kitchen here at ActonTV. I am so excited you've joined me today. I have some great fun stuff that we're going to make, all easy, nutritious, healthy, and sometimes effortless. So I am going to do a little flour segment as I usually do. And then we have a really great recipe with chicken tenders, gnocchi, and tomato sauce, actually tomato basil. And I'm gonna have a salad with some really great spice. It's the Everything Spice from Mama Lay's restaurant in Cambridge. It's kind of like the Everything Bagel. It's so good, and you're gonna love this new way of doing a salad. And I have some chives from the garden. We'll talk a little bit about gardening and a great dessert. And for dessert, I have such a great fun recipe for you. What I have in this bag are some favorite treats that we all in New England love. So I'm going to show you. Yes. It's an apple cider donut, and it is springtime, and I will tell you where you can source them, and they are delicious. And we're gonna do that with some mangoes and ice cream and a really cute thing on top, which is called halva, and you can get these at Whole Foods. Anyway, let's get started. Oh, I also have these awesome mushrooms from Fat Moon Farm in Westford, and let's get going. Oh, and the flowers are from Five Fork Farms in Upton. So many great things are around, and we'll talk about all the wonderful things that you can get for your dinners or parties, and let's get started. So let's talk flowers. I have some really awesome things that I want to share with you, and right here I have what is called butterfly ranunculus. And they're from Five Fork Farms in Upton. It's such a lovely local farm. It's about maybe 25-30 minutes from Acton. So I wanted to bring it and show it to you just as it is packaged. And they have this beautiful translucent petals, and it's just, look at this, just amazing. And I wanted to pair it with some other flowers, and right here in Acton at Trader Joe's, I picked up these gorgeous tulips. And you've heard me talk about this in the past, the $3.99 bouquet from Trader Joe's. Let me open it. Now, always have your tools ready when you're doing your flower arranging. And I have some scissors here, and I also have these pruning, I guess pruning shears. Not sure if they're called shears, but anyway, these are great for pruning in your garden, but they are even better and easier than using scissors for stems. So I'm not going to use everything in here, but I'm going to just show you what will be fun to combine together. All right. So we have these, they're kind of long, and I'm thinking, as usual, if you've watched my other shows, I vary the stems. So this one's a really nice, strong stem. So I'm gonna leave it fairly long. So here we go. We start with this as a first, and then we have some that are gonna be, you see they're not quite as thick, so I'm gonna do these a little bit smaller. All right, now we have this leaf, and I don't want it in the water, so I'm gonna take that out. And let's start adding some of the tulips. I actually have enough here to make 2 arrangements, but I don't have a second vase today, so we're gonna make do with just 1 arrangement, and I'll show you kind of what it would be for the other one. All right, so let's see the tulips. You see, I'm taking out some of these stems and gonna add this in there. All right, let's add a few more of the butterfly ranunculus. And this is a specialty flower that they grow at Five Fork Farms. and I love supporting this farm. And let's see. Oh, there we go. So you can see already how gorgeous is that. Now, out of this small bouquet, I really want to use this tiny calla lily and make it, right, make sure you trim it because that will help it stay longer. Now, at this point, it looks to me that I could use a few more tulips. And I like this sort of thought where you have some of the ranunculus more predominant on one side and a bit more of the tulips on here. Now, I'm not going to use these because I really like the arrangement in this color scheme, and I'm going to just show you something a little different that you could do. So this could pair really well, the yellow with this, or even better, I think these would be just gorgeous. You see this? That's absolutely stunning. And then you could add this with it. So there you go. It's just about putting it together and experimenting the lengths. And you see this is another arrangement. So out of these flowers here, you could easily make 3 arrangements. So enjoy, and I'd love to hear from you, whatever flower arrangements you make, and you can send me a picture too. My email is irena@irenarealtygroup.com. So here we are, we're gonna start making our dinner. Now, the first thing that we're gonna make is the main dish, which is a chicken with gnocchi and tomato sauce. And it's gonna be so easy to make, but you're gonna have to start your oven. So I have it started at 400 degrees, and I have it on the convection setting. And I have this big pot that I am starting to warm. So before I put it in the oven, I'm going to like warm it up here just to kind of cut down on the cooking time. And I'm gonna add a little bit of oil on the bottom of it. Not a whole lot, probably like 2 or 3 tablespoons, just enough to slightly coat it. So here we are, we started this pot to heat up, and I put a little bit of oil. I love the sunflower oil, and this is the organic Spectrum one. I have a really good olive oil, actually a Sicilian one. But remember, with the olive oil, it's really best to use it for salads or just for finishing a dish. You don't necessarily want to have it at a high temperature. So I have right here the oil heating up, and I have chicken tenders. The reason I love using chicken tenders is they cook so easily. You don't have to cut them or prep them in addition to already just the way they come. And all you really need to do is add a bit of salt and pepper. So I will add my salt on top. Now remember, if you're cooking for people, oh, this is getting a little hot, so move it over. We'll just season this with the salt and pepper. I'm gonna move this spinach off because I'll show you what I do with that. And here we are. And I'm gonna put this going down, and it will be really, really easy. So I moved it off the heat. I don't want it to be at such high heat that, you know, it's not gonna be good for, but I'll have it sizzling. All right, here we go. And just adding these on the bottom. And let's see if this is gonna be too many, but I think it should work. I think this will be good for like a family of 4, maybe even 5. All right, this right here, I'm just gonna remove that and I'm gonna add it right here. And just starting this and sauteing it slightly, I'm gonna toss this away. And I'm gonna open my sauce. You can use any kind of tomato sauce or pasta sauce. In this case, I'm using the Carboni's tomato basil. I really love this. It's such a wonderful sauce, but really almost any kind or whatever sauce is your favorite. Let's see if it opens. All right, here it is. And what you can do is you could sit and wait and saute this on both sides, or if you're running around trying to do a lot of things, you could just add the sauce to the dish and put it in the oven. And I'm gonna see, yeah, so here we go. I can sort of flip it quickly and saute it on both sides. I have a little time and I'm just gonna show you. And it works really, really great in here. And there we go. Okay. Now, if you're doing this step like this, just make sure that maybe you might need to add a little more oil. So right there, before I flip the last one, I'm just gonna add a little more oil. It's always adjusting. And when you're cooking, you really just sometimes need to adjust based on the situation. All right, so this is cooking really great. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So it's so wonderful. You add the tomato sauce, you put it in the oven, and then you take it out when you have your salad and everything else ready. So I'm gonna let it cook just another minute. Great. So here we go. I'm gonna add the tomato sauce. And in this case, I'm adding most of it. You can leave a little bit out you want. Put the cover on and off it goes into the oven. Now the important thing again is that you start it here. If you were to start it in the oven and you have a cold pot, it's just going to take a lot longer. That's all. You can start it earlier and it will still work very well. So I'm going to head over and put this over in the oven. So I'm using the Maldon salt. I have this my lovely peppermill that I've had for, goodness, for over 20 years. And I have some spinach. Now the spinach I'm gonna add to this, but only right at the end, right before serving, not cooking. So the other thing that's gonna go with the dish is gnocchi. If you haven't bought gnocchi, it's spelled G-N-O-C-C-H-I. They're an Italian ingredient that's made out of potatoes. And yes, you can hand make them, but they're so conveniently, you can buy them in a package. And these ones in particular, I got them at Trader Joe's, and it says it's faster than pasta. So literally, what you'll do with this is when you're ready, again, this and the spinach, the gnocchi and the spinach, will go right at the end. So I have my water pot here. Make sure I add a little bit of salt to it. And I'll bring that to a boil. And when I'm ready with the rest of the salad and the rest of the prep, I will then throw these in and show you how the dish all comes together. So let's talk salad. All right, salad is such an important part of a dinner, and I hope that you try and incorporate it each time you get a chance. So what I'm gonna make today is this incredible salad that I hope you give it a go, and it's gonna be with romaine salad. I got this, it's from the company Earth Greens. I got this at Trader Joe's, and I have these awesome cucumbers. These are the Persian cucumbers, and they're seedless, and they are so great that you don't need to peel them. If you do want to peel them, I would recommend one of these OXO peelers, but in this case, I'm not gonna need it, but I am gonna trim the end just a little bit like this. I'm just gonna cut halfway through like this, and then I'm gonna cut them across this way. So essentially what you're making is kind of like these half moon. Don't do them too small. I think it's always really nice in a salad to have it a little bit bigger. But of course you can also do smaller if you really want to. Question would be, can you use other cucumbers if you have the English cucumber? Yes, you can use that. I would recommend peeling those. And I would say you can cut them in 4s because they're generally much bigger. All right, so let's get this prepped. And the cucumber is so nice and refreshing. All right, so here we go. We've got one, and we're gonna make several. Again, cut them first time lengthwise, and then you go into the half moon. All right, so, oh, I feel like this is gonna be so loud. But you know, cooking is exactly that. Sometimes a little bit loud. And do I wanna make all 5? You can. There were 5 in a package. And these are the organic ones, and I think it's worth paying, you know, the $1 or so extra just so you don't have any of the pesticides or anything that would be grown conventionally. If you can't find them organic, then make sure you do peel it. So that would be my recommendation for that. Okay, so here we go. So it's really nice when you make a dinner that you try to use the whole package, because oftentimes if you don't use it, then you end up like it sits in the refrigerator and you get around to it the next couple of days, or does it get wasted? One of the things that I've been trying really hard is to avoid any food waste, and I'm not always successful. In fact, I really feel like I should get a little bit better at it. But the important thing is that you keep, make that a goal. So, all right, so here we go. And definitely trying to use everything out of a package is gonna be helpful. All right, so I have a big bowl. I love this bowl for salads. I'm gonna toss in my, not carrots, my cucumbers. And as I told you, I have a really, really great ingredients. So this is the everything spice from Mama Lay's. It's M-A-M-A-L-E-H, Mama Lay's restaurant in Cambridge. So anyway, so here we are. We're gonna add this. This is like an everything bagel. I'm gonna take a teaspoon, and I'm going to use, for the amount that I have here, I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons. So right here, you don't have to measure it and have them perfection, but there we go. I'm gonna add that, and look how gorgeous it is. And then I have this beautiful mushrooms from Fat Moon Farm, and I got these at the Harvard General Store. And I'm just gonna trim these. Well, actually, there's no trimming that I need to do. They're just gorgeous, so I'm just gonna cut them, but I'm gonna leave a couple of them bigger, so especially these smaller ones, just because it will make it really nice for presentation. So I'll put those to the side. Actually, one more right here. And then these other ones, I'm just going to just gently go like this. Now, this portion here, you can also use it in salads. You just need to do a few more cuts. Oops. Here we go. I think the cut this way will make it easier. All right, so here we go. And the mushroom will just absorb part of the dressing. So here we are with the mushrooms. How gorgeous is this? What else are we adding? I have chives from my garden, and just so exciting to use these. And let me see if the scissors, as you remember, I love to use my herbs by using some scissors. So I think there's a pair of scissors here. Yeah, here we go. So here we go. You just easily add this. And of course, the everything bagel spice goes so well with some chives, right? And so I'm not using onions in here. And you just keep it in like this. And I happen to have a big bunch, but really it just depends on how much of a flavor you want to have. And there we go. So, and then again, these blooms, you can use them for a bit of decoration. It will just add a little bit of interest. It will be really cute. And then I'm going to cut the lettuce, and I'm I'm going to show you the dressing. And the dressing, you just want to do it right at the end when you're serving dinner. With romaine lettuce, it's so easy. It comes in a package. It's already washed. It's absolutely incredibly fresh. And just do a cut just like this. It can be simpler. It really is a bit effortless. And you add it in, and then you're going to mix everything. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the whole package. Again, it's really nice. If you have, well, there's a little portion here. Don't worry about it. Just cut it, just trim it off. So I think this will be a nice mix. And let me show you. I'm going to do the tossing right at the end, right before I serve it. But let me go over. So remember, we're using these for the decorations. I'll put these back into this little bowl. I love little bowls that are made by artisans. And for the dressing, let me show you the dressing. So I'm going to use some organic za'atar tahini. This is really great. It's from a company called Seed and Mill. They're based out of New York City. All right, so for the dressing, I have some tahini. It's organic za'atar tahini. So it already has, za'atar is a spice or a blend of spices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to measure. So I think for this right here, I'm going to measure 5 spoons. So 5 spoonfuls. I'm going to do 1. Let's see. You can also stir it a tiny bit here. And of course, make sure that your spoon is clean. You're not using anything else if you're going to dip it into your container. There we go. It needed a little stirring anyway. 5. And what's great with this, it's so delicious. What's great with this is that you really are not even going to need oil. All right, I have a really nice lemon. This is an organic lemon. And I'm going to cut it. Make sure you take out the seeds so you're not tossing it in. So I'm going to use half a lemon. Now, if you, okay, a few seeds have gone in anyway. So here we go. And it is great. Okay. All right. Let me see, what do I want to do here? I think I want to just throw in a little bit of the pulp as well. And that's going to be the dressing. It is really, really that simple. So the ingredients here were 5 tablespoons. Now, if you have just plain tahini, that is okay. You can just do the plain and add some za'atar spice, or you can just even use it just plain with some lemon. But make sure you do stir it. It really brings it to the next level. And then you'll toss this when it's all ready to be served. And it will add a really, really great. It's really great. So that is it for the salad. Remember, we have the wonderful everything spice for it, and it's just a really nice, refreshing salad. And here we are for dessert. So I'm going to show you a fantastic dessert and talk about apple cider donuts even in the spring or the winter or the summer. So let me show you. I have in here apple cider donuts from Davidians in Northborough, and they make them year-round. So if you're craving some apple cider donuts, you can come, you can get 6 of them. These are all with sugar, or they have plain ones. But for the dessert, I'm going to show you how to do this. And so I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to cut it in half. All right, so use a serrated knife. It will really make it easier. And cut them just like this. And these, I just got them yesterday and they're still super, super moist. Almost a day old is like actually better than if they're made the same day. All right, so here we are. Now, I have this as an idea that you could make a whole thing like this and then bring it to a potluck or to your friend's house or whatever. But for dinner, maybe you don't need quite that many. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it right here. We could do 6 like this. I think that might be good. Or let's see if everyone wants one, then we can do 8. It's just not going to look quite as, we're not going to have all of them there to go across. Or you could do one more. Yeah, the idea might be doing this and then you just leave one as a half. All right, so let's do it that way because it will look really pretty this way. And I'm gonna be a little bit of a perfectionist here and turn it this way. And I'm gonna use this one just for toppings. Okay, what we're gonna pair with this is so awesome. So here's the main things that we're gonna do. We're gonna have mangoes, and we're gonna have a little bit of halva and pistachios and a little bit of citrus. So let's talk about it. The pistachios, of course, just, you know, get some and do them fresh. So I have about 15 of them in here. I'll show you, we're gonna do that for color and interest. And then what else I have here? I have mangoes. So I wanted to talk to you about this. These ones are called champagne mangoes. And you can see them, it's kind of got a crinkly look to it, and this is exactly how I want it. So when you buy them, they look much more like this with a bit of green, you can see. But I feel like this is not gonna be ideal for making the dessert. I like to make it super easy, and this is going to be much better in my opinion. Now this is the other type of mangoes, and this is generally like it has stronger or bigger fiber, so I feel like it's still very good. You can still use it, but you might want to make it smaller. And so I just wanted to show you. You can buy them. They're going to be green. Leave them on your counter, and they're going to get much softer. All right. Now, to cut these, it's pretty simple. What I am going to do is I'm going to move this over here, turn over my cutting board, and show you what I do. So I'm going to take the mango. You can see this is the end of it. This is the other side. All right, so I'm not using those. And I'm just going to cut through, and basically you're cutting along the pit of the seed that's inside here. All right, so there you go. And then you go score it like 3 times there, and then you go again like this, and it ends up being gorgeous. It's like a little pattern you make. Don't worry, there's no perfection here. You can just do however many. And then the reason I went off is that you get this spoon and they just come right off. And you can just leave it just like this. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add mango for all of these. And you don't have to worry about it being perfect. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second, just so I can show this a little bit better. Here we go, this moved off. And so there we go. You just add a little bit of mango to each side. And they're not really tiny chunks. They're kind of on the bigger side. And you can see how it's very, very juicy. Let me just show you, just for example, when I take one of these green ones, what it's gonna be like. All right, so you can see the difference in the color and how it looks so very different. And if I go through here, I am no longer getting juice. It's almost like an apple, the consistency. So let's see. You can see here, and you can't really do this too easily. So my recommendation is let them on your counter until they get really, really yellow. All right, now you're looking at this. Yes, you can go this way and cut it so you're not wasting anything. But for the sake of this dessert, I'm gonna just show you without that, and you can come back and do this and then put it in a bag and use it for a smoothie. All right, so let me put that aside. Let's make probably at least one more because I want to cover each of the donuts. And here we go. So go again. And you're probably wondering, when are we going to add the pistachios? That's going to be at the end. And a little bit of this great halva, which is just another sugary dessert, but it's a very different, and it's an ancient dessert. And here we go. And again, you have a little bit like that. It's totally good. So yeah, it's been just 2 mangoes right here that's gonna make the dessert. And there's something more. This is such a decadent and wonderful dessert. I really hope that you'll enjoy it. And just a great twist on using, okay, here we go. Great twist on using the apple cider donuts. So we have that. I'll move that over there. Now, I have a little bit of lemon. You can also use lime. But I had lemon from earlier, so if you don't want to use the lime, you can just use the lemon. I'm going to add a bit of lemon. It will add a little bit of acidic interest to it. Let's see, make this a little bit more like that. All right. And then the other thing I'm going to use is the pistachios. And I have this halva, and I have the one, you can find these at Whole Foods. They're made in Israel and imported. And then here we go. And it's really, really, really wonderful. It's so I'm going to cut little slices, and this already has pistachios, and that's part of the reason I am using the pistachios on top. All right, so now it will just kind of be crumbly. You don't really need to cut it. I'll add a little bit just like that on all of it. And then, but the pistachios, I am going to cut them a little bit. And don't worry about, but do be careful. Don't worry about how big or how small. It's just mainly so some of the green comes through and also the crunch. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna do a bit on each one of them. So again, you can use lime instead of the lemon, but because I was using lemon earlier, I said why waste and start another one. So there we go, and I do have a little bit of leftover, and you can just add it in little corners like this, because when you're picking it up, it will all, there we go, tuck it in. Okay, not completely ready, because when you're serving, I'm going to show you how to serve it with some really wonderful ice cream. So this is for the dessert. And again, you can make a big platter and bring it over and enjoy. What a great thing. Okay, so now we've been throwing the whole dinner together. We've put the chicken in the oven. It's been cooking. We've made the salad, and we've prepped the dessert. So final thing we're going to do is make the gnocchi, throw them into water. These cook so fast. All right, so let me show you what I tend to do. I do break them off right before throwing them in, I know you can probably just put them in like that, but I just like to do that in case it will like kind of stick together, and this way they'll cook more evenly. So it won't take that much effort. You can see how easy it is, but do it. All right, here we are. And the water is boiling. The water should be boiling. I did put some salt in it. Okay, is everything? Yes. Now, this is how much I have in here. I actually would recommend, for the amount of chicken I have, that you could do 2 of them. But I'm going to just show you with just one for the sake of this episode here on TV. But you can make 2 of them, and it will easily just go in together. All right, so let me show you this. This is how they start, they cook. I have here some spinach, and I'll show you what I do. If you need to, go ahead and choose. You can do a quick rinse, which I'm gonna do in a second. And I'm gonna go and grab the chicken out of the oven. I'll be right back. And here we are. I just went and got the chicken out of the oven, and I want to show you. I have the gnocchi boiling here, and here we go. And how easy was this? You can see we've got the chicken cooked in there. All right, this is about to boil over. Let's check it. Oh, that's because the gnocchi are actually ready. So they've lifted up to the surface. That means they're ready. Let me move it. Do use your handy dandy kitchen stuff here so you don't get your hands burned. All right, so these are ready, and the best thing for this is to actually strain them and run some, you can run them some cold water. I tend not to do that, but you can. So let's do, in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put them in. We're gonna serve them, and I'm gonna show you how we're going to do the chicken. All right, let me move over. All this steam, let's shift it just a tiny bit around, and let me turn this off. Okay, here we are. Okay, and as I'm just about to do it, remember I was talking about the spinach. Oh, that is hot. Don't need to cook it anymore. And I'm just gonna toss the spinach in, and I'm doing it right at the end. The reason I'm doing it right in the end is because it will definitely, you know, doesn't need more time, and it will stay more intact. All right, so here we are, you can see. And then at this point, you just grab chicken and put it on top of the gnocchi. And that's how simple this dish is. All right, let me see. I have a few more gnocchi in here. Okay, fish them all out. So get all your gnocchi out, and there we go. And for anyone who's gluten-free, you can also find gnocchi that are gluten-free. They're primarily potatoes, but it does have a bit of flour. Let's get that out. And here we are adding again. Gorgeous. Oh, see how nice this chicken is? It's so good. It's just like even falling apart. And you've got a great, great meal. It looks beautiful. It tastes really good. And it's absolutely awesome when you're serving it. So over here, what you could do is you could add more of the sauce. Let me see. I kind of have like a small spoon here, small teaspoon, but you get the idea. You move it over here. You really don't even need additional like salt or pepper, but let everybody taste it, and of course if they want more. And any of the extra sauce, you can just toss it in with some other pasta. It will be really, really great. I'm like moving this around. Let's move this over here. I am going to take this and wipe this over. So this is the dish, and it's absolutely wonderful. I hope that you really enjoy it. I'd love to hear from you if you do. And let me show you then the last part that we're going to do with the salad. So right now, as you're about to serve, this is when I toss it all together. And you've got the mushrooms in here. We've got the cucumbers with the everything bagel seasoning, and then can add your dressing, which is the tahini and lemon. And this, you're just adding it right at the end. It just coats. And then I'm going to show you what else I do. All right, so you toss it all around. Sometimes what's really good with something like this is to put it in a container so you can toss it a little bit more vigorously. But right here, this is what is going to happen. So this is not a salad that's gonna feel like it's got, it's very watery. So the dressing is really just kind of slightly adds a tang, and but occasionally it kind of clumps. So do toss it, do spend a little bit of time tossing it. All right, and then we've got these cute things that we're gonna put right on top for decorations. Got this, so this is the everything bagel, everything spice set, from Mama Lay's. Let me see. I've got the halva, which is really a great ingredient that I hope that you try. And one more thing that you can add to your salad is these perfectly crisp cheese. And this is also the everything bagel. And we'll just add a little bit of crunch. And this is from Whole Foods. So the perfectly crisp bakery everything cheese crisps. So this is just plain cheese. For anyone who's gluten-free, this is absolutely awesome. You don't need to add a lot of it, and obviously add it right at the end. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you is the dessert. Now, if I can simply open, this ice cream is really great. It's Maple Valley from Hadley. See if I can get it open. Almost. Here we go. And I have the dark chocolate. I think the dark chocolate will pair really well with the mango and the apple cider donuts. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit right this way, and everybody can take a little bit. And here we are at the end of it all. We got it all together, and we have the chicken with gnocchi and tomato sauce and a bit of spinach. We have the salad with romaine lettuce, with cucumbers and mushrooms, and the really nice tahini sauce / dressing. And we've got the dessert, apple cider donuts, mango, and ice cream, and a bit of halva and pistachios. I hope you really, really enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Let me know how it goes. If you try one of them or all three of them, I'd love to hear about it. My email is irena@irenarealtygroup.com, and I'm so glad you joined me today.